Hey traders, my name is Chris. I run Elliott Wave Cafe. Welcome to my channel once again. And I been scanning a few charts and I came across something definitely interesting that I want to share with the Elliott Wave community here. All of you that are kind of watching my videos and want to learn a little bit about Elliott Wave. And I think Boeing here, it's the perfect candidate to kind of show that up. We have an interesting development from the bottom here, roughly about June, July 2022, all the way up till until now. And I think there's a couple of ways to look at this, and I want to kind of show you the difference. And there's a couple of little tricks in here that hopefully I can kind of show you, just to kind of open up a little bit the way you look at Elliott Wave. So a couple of things first to notice. This is a correction, right? You've started to go up in a pretty strong impulse, and then you correct it and you have a pretty deep correction, right? That's the let's say it could be a wave B or it could be a wave 2 in this situations. Since you're looking from this lows, it appears that you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So for me, I think this is better suited as a wave 2, not necessarily a wave B. So and you can also notice the guideline of alternation here, which comes in a beautiful display in Boeing, because you have a very sharp second wave, but then you have a very drawn out wave 4, which is a correction that unfolds sideways. So one of those beautiful things that we learn, and here it is in a full display in Boeing. So let's just try this out, and then I'll show you something else that's interesting, kind of what's happening here, because I think this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So let's just kind of start with wave 1 up into the stop. Let's go wave 2. Let's go wave 3. Let's just place a wave 4 for now, and then just a wave 5 up in there. I'm gonna so I want to take a look at this area back here, because you see how this wave goes up above this high, and it makes things looking a little tricky or a little interesting, whatever. But for the fourth wave, you can also have a triangle. You can have a zigzag, a double zigzag, complex corrections. There's a lot of possibilities that can happen in a wave 4. In a wave 2, you cannot have a triangle. You can have the other type of corrections. But how do you count this as a triangle? Because you have this kind of mess in here, this overlap. So the way I kind of go about it and I look at it, I'm always trying to identify the latest push from a sideways consolidation, and that's where I kind of tend to place the wave 4. So I take this and I say, okay, what is the last push? What it looks like it's starting right up here to kind of have a clean move before we start to decline. See, if I put it back here, now I have an issue because I don't have 5 waves going up unless I make this a truncated fifth and I shift wave 5 over and I go in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But I don't think that's the case. I think that what happens here, the wave 4 ends up here. You can even have a truncation because you can go 1, small, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So either you place the wave 5 here or you place it a little bit higher. I'm okay with either or. But then how do you make this whole thing here, if you really want to get into kind of the details of a wave 4, how do you make this happen? Well, the first thing that jumps out at me when I see a sideways consolidation, it's either a complex correction or a triangle. So, double zigzags and they're a bit more kind of directional to the downside rather than these triangles or complex corrections, which are more sideways. So the first thing that jumps out at me is a triangle, and here is the interesting thing. This is what you're going to like this. We call this a running triangle. So you can see you have a big wave A, you have a wave B, you have a wave C, a wave D, and a wave E. And this is where you have you connect AC and then you connect BD line, and this is your triangle, right? So you come down in 3 waves. That's a complex move in here in a wave A. You go up in B in 3 waves. You come down in C, up in D, down in E in 3 waves, and then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you finish wave 5. Right now, if this is a running triangle wave 4, then you have and you have 5 waves, which appears that we kind of do because we already, came all the way to the prior wave for lows, that means that this is got to be a wave A in progress. We're going to do a B, and then we're going to do a C. It's interesting that, we have this, beautiful correction, which stops right there. Right, that's kind of the support zone in a way forward. That's why I'm thinking, there's a bounce coming here in Boeing, either now or maybe from slightly lower. But I think we're probably going to be getting a wave B and then followed by a wave C. Well, this can morph into something more complex. You can have an ABC for a W. You can go in an X, go in a Y wave. You can have a variety, garden variety here. But what's likely to happen is that we're going to get a bounce in Boeing. Now, here is the other thing that I wanted to show you, and the reason why I made this video is how, especially when you have such a deep wave 2 and it's pretty large, right? Always, the question that I always have is like, what if this wave 4 is not over, right? And here is where the two things kind of overlap. So what we do is, let me just go back here. I'm going to pull up exactly the same chart. I'm just change this to high-low close bars. Let me just go to a 2-day. So we'll do it again, but this time we'll go 1, 2. We're gonna go 3. We're gonna go 4, and we're gonna go 5. See what I'm doing here? So now you have a wave A down in 3 waves, up in B, down in C for a flat, and then you go up in a wave 5. Now this is still a running flat because wave C has not come yet below the end of the wave A. If it drops below, it becomes an expanded flat. This is a running flat. A, B goes above the origin of A. You have a 3-wave decline here, A, B, C, or WXY in a wave A. You go up in a wave A, triangle B, up in C for a B. Okay, so this is the move. You got 3 waves there. You do a triangle here, and then you have the last push up in a wave B. Then you drop sharply down in a wave C, and this is a 3-3-5 pattern of a flat, and then you go up higher one more time. Now, notice the difference between the two. We're talking wave 4, but what's common in between these two counts is the fact that a bounce is due no matter what. Under this scenario, you're going to go up and make a new high. Under this scenario, you're going to go up for a wave B. So this is kind of 2 ways to kind of look at this. Another thing that's interesting is like look inside this wave and see how nice you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Right? You have a beautiful wave 3, which is got a couple of diagonals in here. You have one that's ending up right here. Sorry about that. You get my point. That's a diagonal right there that's kind of finishing up this wave 3 in the internal of a 1, 2, 1, 2. And that's the third of a third. That's the strongest move in an impulsive sequence. You got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 diagonal in 5, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for another 5. So that's, I mean, this is just beautiful, guys. So again, either a flat, a running flat for now, followed by a move up to new highs in Boeing above wave B. Maybe look at the quality between wave 1 and wave 5. There is certain, check out my other videos when it comes to extensions and fib projections and stuff like that. Or you can have this as a 1, 2, 3 triangle in wave 4, up in 5, and then you get your A, B, and C for now. You keep an eye on the structure. It can morph into a little bit different, but I think there is a decent chance of Boeing holding these levels and pushing higher. So thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.